We call in the council meeting for June 18th, 2020 to order. Madam Clerk, pledge.
Councilman Asbell? Councilman Buddy?
Present.
Councilman Chatelain?
Present.
Councilman Johnston?
Present.
Councilman Wheeler?
Present.
Mayor Bodier?
Present.
Police Chief Walker?
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr?
Present.
Finance Director Todd Tunion?
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry?
Present.
Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee, present.
Mayor, before we get started, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda under executive session to add woods material.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Johnson on the executive session to add woods material to the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbell. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. Open for public.
What's that?
Public hearing.
I'm sorry, open for public hearing, adding woods to executive session. All right, no one coming to speak forth. We're going to close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Woods material is added to executive session. Is that it, guys? It's been a tough month. I mean, I'm sure y'all see everything that I see on TV. It's a shame to say, even in our own community, that we have so many people using Facebook for bullying tactics and as a weapon. It's sad. This is a time where us as a city need to do everything we possibly can to come together and work together to move the city forward. I know that myself and my team have just done that, the police department, fire department. We've been out working real hard to promote our businesses and just be, the backbone for our businesses, to be a voice for them to call whenever they're scared or they need someone to talk to about how do they stay in business. I mean, I have a small business as well, and so we've been doing everything we can to work real hard in our community, show our support while still moving the community forward. So I just want to tell everybody, be strong and try to be kind. There's no reason for us to be mean to one another right now, even I know that seems such to be a common thread amongst a very small few. But please don't buy into it. Don't believe everything you read on social media, and be kind to your neighbor. You see them, help them. They need help, go out and do your thing and help them. We got a big project, and we're right in the middle of Lift Station 5 in Harahan Oaks. I know we had a situation over the week. They were pulling a piece of tree root out and grabbed the water main, popped the water main in half, so the water went down for a little bit. We were all over the top of it. Police and fire were notified immediately, and I believe they got it fixed pretty fast. And we're very excited about the new upgrade on Lift Station 5 because of the location of it and the soil subsidence that we've been doing, and we actually have a soil subsidence company out there doing soil samples for us, so we make sure that when we do build it back, we build it back right, and we're not revisiting this project again. What we're basically going to do is take the valve box and bring it from in the ground and put it out of the ground, drop sheet pile underneath it, and put pilings on to give it extra support to where it doesn't sink again. I've been in constant communication with the chairperson for the Harahan Oaks Civic Association, Ms. Tina, and keeping her informed about everything, as well as I had a neighborhood meeting with them to let them know what we were doing back there. We did fix the lawn in David Catalano's yard that was right on side of Wilson, and we are now in the process of reaching out to the federal government and the state for funding of doing more infrastructure up repairs. There's a very particular line I'd like to repair or replace, I should say, and that's the Wilson Street line. I want to get it out of people's backyards and into the street, and then upgrade that line at the same time, because if not, every mayor after me will revisit this, and we will continue to waste taxpayers' dollars until we do this the right way. It'll be very expensive, and but it will be one that we will spend money on one time and hopefully not ever again. Before we begin with the agenda, I would like to make a motion I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to new business number 4, New Orleans Advocate Official Journey Bid, July 1, 2020, June 30th to 2021.
I'll motion.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Johnson. Okay. All right, we open for public hearing about anyone comes to speak forth about having the Advocate as our official journal. No one wants to come forward and speak forward, so we're going to close public hearing. We have a motion by Councilman Johnston, Can I get a second? Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Advocate remains our official journal.
It'll be put on for new business.
I'm sorry, we added into new business. I'm sorry. Got ahead of myself there a little bit. Special presentations?
State Representative John Ilg, recognizing the City of Harahan's 100th year of incorporation.
Just real fast, I'd like to introduce everybody to our State Representative, John Ilg. I've only got to spend one day with him in Baton Rouge. He is very impressive, and he commands the room, and he is, I believe, in my heart, a true asset to the City of Harahan. And he is working his butt off for us, let me tell you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. And I'm used to the podium that raises up in Baton Rouge. He said that the first time I leaned over, they said, you know it raises. Maybe we can work on that. I can
Yes, sir.
appropriate y'all some money for a new podium.
Sounds
But,
like
we are working hard to help Harahan out. I've worked with Brian Wallace throughout this crisis, and it is a crisis throughout the entire state. And a lot of things get overlooked, such as the Harahan Centennial. I recently filed a resolution, House Resolution 35, commemorating Harahan on its centennial. I will like to have a formal presentation to you if you guys can make it up on Tuesday. We are finally letting people back into the Capitol in limited groups, and Jefferson Parish had a lunch last week, which wasn't very heavily attended, but hopefully we'll get more attendance this week, along with the representatives. The chairman of Ways and Means, I have expressed the projects that need to be done in Harahan, and his focus through this has been more bricks and mortar going forward, meaning roads, bridges, storage, drainage, which is good for Harahan. And I've gotten in, he knows our needs. We're gonna try and get some projects started with your applications, and myself and Senator Talbot signing off on trying to promote these projects for the city. I would, later in the fall, hopefully we can get through this and celebrate the centennial the right way. I'm working on getting the lieutenant governor, possibly the governor down here for the celebration. And hopefully we can all gather like we'd like to at the playground. Harahan has meant a lot to me. I grew up here, met my wife here, was married in St. Rita, coached at the playground. This city means a lot to me. As you guys know, and the time I probably spend more time with the people in Harahan than the rest of my district. The rest of my district is taken care of by Jefferson Parish, and I work with those officials also, but my heart is here, and I want to help you guys in every way I can, and especially, I know this isn't the way you guys wanted to celebrate the 100th years dealing with this, but we are going to get through this. The state is working very well together on both sides of the aisle, and we're going to do what we can to keep Harahan and keep this state going forward. And I appreciate you guys being here. I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday so we can present you the resolution in a proper way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
Mayor, Council, Tim Walker, Harahan Police Chief. First, I'd like to introduce VFW Post 3267 Commander Tab Henderson. He has a little announcement to make about the $5,000 drawing that was postponed from March 27th.
How y'all doing? Tab Henderson again, Commander, VFW Post 3267. We've been shut down for probably the last 4 months. Just want to let everybody know we are back open, hosting events again. We did have a $5,000 drawing that was supposed to be at the end of March. It was postponed. It's actually going to take place next weekend on the 27th. And then in July the 11th, we actually have our indoor craft fair, which is something we do 3 times a year. So just want to get the word out. We are back open, and that's it.
You got tickets left?
I do have about 10 tickets left. So everybody wants one, they're $50 a piece. Free beer, free food. Vince Vance will be there. Chief will be there, and I'll be there. So, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tickets are $50. I have 4 left for sale if anybody's interested. Okay, I'm pleased to report that the HPD, Harahan Police Department, shows me purchased some new vehicles and laptop computers with non-City of Harahan funds, meaning that the funding for it did not come out of the city budget. Again, I want to acknowledge and thank the men and women of the Harahan Police Department for the dedication and commitment to the City of Harahan for providing excellent police service. And don't forget, we got the drug box in the front lobby at this station. It's 24/7. Your unwanted medications, whether they're prescribed or over the counter, can be dropped in the box any day. Okay. Some people still at home. We noticed riding around patrol, a lot of houses still don't have their house numbers out or visible. So please check them. If you have some free time, put some numbers that are visible on your front porch. And if you see something, say something, call 911. Don't forget, 4th of July, have a happy and safe day, and thank you. God bless.
Chief, quick question.
Yeah.
The money that you used for the cars and laptops, was that grant money from the parish?
Pardon?
Was that grant money from the parish?
Part of it was parish and Department of Justice.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, approval of the minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st.
Okay, public hearing is now open. No one come to speak forth on the minutes. Public hearing is now closed.
Move to dispense with the reading.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by,
Second.
by Council.
Before we
I'm
move
sorry.
forward, there may be an error in the minutes.
This is just a dispenser right now.
I'm sorry.
We're just in,
Okay,
talking about
thank you.
dispensing right now.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to dispense with the reading of the minutes. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading has been dispensed.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone speaks on the approval of the minutes of the council meeting for May 21st, 2020, no one coming forward, we will close public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Before we move forward, in new business number 4, it has us passing that 5-0. And I believe, if I recall, Councilman Chatelain
There was one
abstained.
abstention, correct?
What's that?
One abstention, yes.
Yes.
You want to make a motion to fix it?
Good
I-
catch.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to correct the minutes as presented.
So I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Buddy to add the liquor license for Uncle Matt's to 4 yeas, 1 abstention. All in favor?
Yay.
Second.
Who was the second?
I'm sorry, who
Second.
was the second?
Second.
Craig was the second. All in favor, Councilman Johnson, I'm sorry, Craig.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes have been amended. Now can we vote on approval for the minutes? Get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved with amendments.
No communications, no resolutions, and ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2020-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 928 and eliminating Harahan Code of Ordinances, Section 34-2, and the related annual fire department service charge.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Ms. Majin, it is very nice to see you.
Mayor Jean Cazenave, Oak Avenue, Harahan. What happened to the proposed fire department millage that was to be voted on June? I know the election has been moved to August. Is the millage still on the ballot since no resolution has been passed by the mayor and the council concerning removal of this millage from the ballot? Did you pull it down? Or if so, when did you pull it down?
Miss Majine,
And who pulled it down?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
And could you
this,
please explain the process?
this ordinance is not pertaining to the millage itself. So that would be, we could talk about that, address the council, but I think the mayor has a report on that later as well.
Yes.
So if we can stick to the ordinance itself, is a $15 charge on the tax bill.
Okay, so I'll be back with this.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the call.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else coming to speak forth? No one else coming to speak forth. Public hearing is now closed.
Madam Clerk, I withdraw the ordinance.
Okay. We have a, Councilman Asbill withdraws the ordinance. Ordinance is withdrawn.
Ordinances for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2020-8, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1885, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020, for the capital project fund of the city of Harahan, Louisiana, and this is for the fire department. And no old business. New business number 1, Todd Tunion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparison.
No, I was just trying to fix something.
All right. So we're here just to give a brief update from the finance team. Couple things. One, just to make the committee or the council and the citizens aware that we've been working with the city's external audit firm on the external audit as of and for the year ended December 31, 2019. That is due to the legislative auditor's office by June 30th, and we expect to meet that deadline. And we currently continue to project an increase in the fund balance for the December 31, 2019 year. So we'd previously communicated that to you in the prior meetings, and we continue to project that at least through December 31st. Specifically in regards to the 2020 activity, certainly sales tax revenue has been impacted for the city. We've seen a decrease, and the mayor mentioned that in his comments at the prior meeting. Although, just quite frankly, it's been less of a decline than I may have expected the most recent month. So we received in June the May sales tax receipt of $168,000 net, which is less than what we had averaged in many of the months throughout the prior year, 2019, but less of a decrease than perhaps I was initially expecting. So we do continue to receive sales tax receipts. Yesterday, we received the garbage and the sewer funds that the parish always sends to us each month. So we do continue to receive funds within the city. We are currently working on the projection and an update of the budget through the end of December 2020, so that we can have a better feel for where the city expects to be near the end of the year. A couple additional items of note. If you look at the disbursement register specifically for the month of May, there were two large or out of the norm checks that were written. One was to the outstanding debt that the city has. So we made a principal and interest payment on the outstanding debt for about $230,000, and that's contractually required for the city to make. We have only 3 years left on that outstanding bond issue, and that's paid out of the general fund. And then we also bought a new pump that I know the mayor has talked about in a number of recent meetings, and so that was a one-time purchase as well. And then lastly, just to add to the chief's comment on the use of funds and some of the purchases. So the DOJ funds that the police department has used to buy some equipment in 2019 and 2020, that's folded up within the general fund of the city. So if you're looking at just police department expenses, those expenses are recorded and included in the total police department expenses, but we do have other sources of funds that basically put the cash in the city's general fund. So that's the brief update for the citizens and to the council members on the state of the finance department.
Thank you.
Todd, well, as you prepare to look at the budget for 2020 or relook, would you please prepare an analysis of cash funds, restricted, non-restricted.
Yeah.
Something that we really need to look real hard at.
Yep.
And also, and it may have something to do with some other funding, but the police department appears to be exceeding its budget this year to date through May by a pretty large sum. A good bit of it appears to be in payroll, which wouldn't seem to be anything to do with vehicle equipment. So if you could look at that in particular,
Certainly, we can.
thank you.
We can. One other thing to add for the council's benefit is, over the last week, and I don't want to steal Mr. Wallace's thunder, I don't know if he's going to present tonight, but we have helped the city with the application for funding through the state of Louisiana through the CARES Act. So that application was submitted on Monday this week, and we'll wait and see as questions arise, and we work through that process for the city to be reimbursed for the certain costs related to COVID.
That CARES Act, we submit that to Jefferson Parish
Yes, sir.
It's actually through the state, where's Brian?
through the state.
Through the state, but the way the allocation works is, and I don't know how much, but a certain pool of money was given to the state. The state allocated it to each parish. So Jefferson Parish has $44 million. That's the most that all the agencies within Jefferson Parish will, at least based on my understanding, can receive out of this first tranche or the first reimbursement process.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it. It was going to the parish, and then the parish would disperse it to us, or just allocated to Jefferson Parish and the state would disperse it?
My understanding is it's dispersed through the state, because all of the information, all the application stuff done online was through a
State.
I believe a state website. But the maximum amount that all the entities parish-wide in Jefferson Parish can receive is $44 million.
Okay.
'Cause-
I was just a little confused because it keeps saying Jefferson Parish has approved
Right,
a
that's what I
$44
was
million.
thinking, right, yeah.
So I'm like, well, are we
That's
applying
why.
to Jefferson Parish or are we applying to the state?
No.
So it's just, that amount is allocated for Jefferson Parish, you're still applying to the state, and the state's gonna disperse it. All right, understand a little better.
Correct, and the way the allocation was done, I think it was based on population, it was based on like numbers of COVID cases, or there were several different factors, but 44 million is the number for Jefferson Parish, parish-wide.
Thank you.
All right, new business number 2, Planning and Zoning Board dismissal and appointment.
Okay. Public hearing is now open for Planning and Zoning Board dismissals and approvals. No one coming to speak forth. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
So I just want to make a couple comments. Just going back, we did it last year as well. The council is required to do a review of attendance of the commission and the Board of Adjustment. And we have somebody who is under the attendance rate of the 75%. In fact, Mr. Whittle has made one meeting in the past year. And so I'm going to move to remove Mr. Brian Whittle from the Planning and Zoning Commission for violation of the attendance requirement of the city code.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill.
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy to remove Brian Whittle from the Planning and Zoning Board. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And so now there's a vacancy for the citizens out there. There's a vacancy. I hope that some of you out there, maybe even in this room, will consider serving the city and your fellow neighbors. Please contact us if you're interested, and somebody will put up a nomination for next month. Thank you. Hopefully.
All right. New business number 3, rescheduling the July 16th council meeting to July 23rd.
Okay, public hearing is now open on rescheduling the July 16th meeting to July 23rd. Anyone coming to speak forth? No one coming to speak forth. With public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
I've requested this rescheduling, so if it accommodates your schedule,
Same
I'd
time,
appreciate it.
7 o'clock, same time? It's the same time in the evening at 7 o'clock?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
And I believe that will be the 4th Thursday of July.
Move to approve.
All right, have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson to move the council meeting from July 16th to July 23rd at 7 PM, which is the fourth Thursday of the month of July. All in favor?
Yay.
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 5 yeas, 0 nays. Council meeting is moved.
New business number 4, the New Orleans Advocate Official Journal bid from July 1st, 2020, begins July 1st, 2020, and ends June 30th, 2021.
Okay, public hearing is now open to, if anyone to discuss holding the Advocate as our official journal. No one coming and spoke up? Come on. This is about the, just having, hiring the Advocate to do you good? Okay, so public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion.
No discussion. Do I have a motion to accept the?
Motion.
Advocate? Motion by Councilman
Second.
Johnson, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Advocate has been accepted as the official journal for the city of Harahan.
And address the council.
Okay, would anyone like to address the council? Please state your name and address at the podium. Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor, I have a point of order real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Point of order.
Excuse me one second, Mr.
We've gotten quite a few emailed comments in as required or as allowed by the advertisement. The city clerk has forwarded all those emails to us. She has printed them out for you to read. I know I have responded to most, if not all of them, that were sent directly to me by the citizens. And so I move to dispense with the reading of the email comments, add all email comments to the meeting minutes by reference of name and topic, and publish the full text of all comments to the city website. So basically, we're not going to read the comments, but they'll be posted on the website for everyone to see, and we'll put them in the agenda by their name and the topic that they wanted to address.
Before we vote on that, I'd just like to have the opinion of city attorney.
Say it again? We are, we've got
rather than-
emailed comments because of the limited capacity at the meeting. Nicole forwarded all those to us prior. She printed them out for us. And most of us have read them. So we're just dispensing with the reading of those comments and publishing them on the website.
What, 7 or 9? Some of them are 3
It's more than
pages
that.
long.
It's more than that. There's quite a few of them. I mean, we probably double up the length of the meeting here by reading all of them.
Question is, most of the time people come and address the council in front of the public, but being that those are emailed to us and the public doesn't know them, are we able to do that?
I mean, I can go and post them right when
Okay.
I go do it right now.
So we have a
What's that?
motion?
I've got a motion.
On the
All right, so we have,
website now.
Yeah.
we have a motion on the floor to dispense with the reading of the emails and listed in the agenda by
Name and
individual and topic. All in favor?
And
And
Mayor,
publish on the
and
city's
posting
Oh,
them
yeah, and publish and post it on the
on
website.
on the city's website as part of the meeting minutes, correct?
That's
Copy
correct.
that.
Okay.
We need to open, we need to
All right,
open
so we
public
we gotta
comment.
vote.
So
All right, so we-
it's going to be posted on,
It will be in the minutes.
We're gonna open public comment on this motion, so
Okay.
move to open the public comment on this motion.
anybody want to speak on this motion?
Ms. Majine, if you would step back for just a minute, please.
Huh? Yeah, I want to say something about that too.
All right,
Go
we're ready.
ahead, Ms. Beijing.
Go ahead.
Can you all please take your mask off when you speak? People can't understand you.
I'm not going to remove mine, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll speak up if you can't hear me, but please let me know, but I'm not removing my
I was
mask.
wearing it for your protection.
Okay, I don't understand what y'all are getting at.
Okay,
All of these people that sent in an email, if they had been here, they would have spoken. They weren't here, they sent what you told them to send, and now you don't want to read it. That's not fair to the people. Everybody in the audience and on the TV should understand y'all should read those comments that people made. If they were here, it would be on TV. Now you're telling them that you don't want to put it, you want to put it in the paper. Half of the stuff they put in the paper is not right anyway.
Not the paper, ma'am. It will be in
Y'all
the,
just do whatever you feel like you want to do, when you want to do it. Now, to get back to this election thing,
we're not there yet, ma'am.
We're not there yet.
We've got other people that want to comment on the email issue, so if you would step back and we can talk about the election thing.
okay,
and
I'll
address the
come
council.
back and talk about the election.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I know.
John Reed, 3 Rent Pass. All I know is that Jefferson Parish did this, you know, they limited seating here, and that's what we kind of requested. I don't know if it's an overburden for y'all to read that many emails, but, you know, we kind of deferred to your decision, whatever you think, but I think they do need to be heard. I think, you know, just out of courtesy to the public, that you would hear what was going on, and I think y'all try to do the right thing all the time, and you can will decide, so I agree, you know, I just think that they need to be heard. I know Jefferson Parish did it. We kind of sent something into Jefferson Parish, and they read them all, and, you know, I'm kind of split, you know, that I know it's probably going to take a little while, but I think that it's probably important that they're heard. You know, the citizens deserve to be heard. So I thank y'all very much, then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. My suggestion is, maybe me and Johnny haven't talked about this, but my suggestion is if, and I'm not trying to put you all on a spot, so you don't have to answer me, okay? I'm not asking a question. But my suggestion is, I know you guys are going into executive session, and you're going to be talking about maybe going back to court and going to court with this. And if that's the choice that you guys are going to want to make, I would think that the residents would be just happy about that. And then in that case, and believe me, I'm not expecting y'all for anything to say, please. But if that is y'all's decision, when you go back in there, look, we're going to go back to court, then I don't think it's necessary to read it, because then I think that the residents would be happy, you know, if Tim came out and said, we're going back to court, then it would not be necessary. I think that's what the residents really want you guys to do. So it can be something that you could take a break and just kind of talk about it to each other. And then, but if you're not going back to court, then I think it would need to be read, okay? So I'm not trying to put you on a fence on it. Please forgive me if I sound like that. But I think that would be a way that you wouldn't have to read those things if that's what you chose to do, okay? Thank you.
That's it on that. Are you
Cazenave,
Is it about
talking about the
emails?
email still, or?
huh?
Is it about the emails?
This is about the emails.
No,
Okay, we're not
this
on
is
that
about
yet.
the fire thing.
Okay,
We
we're
gotta
not on
wait
that
a
yet.
minute.
You want to close public hearing for about the email, so?
Close public
What
hearing.
does this gentleman need to speak? Okay.
On the emails?
Would you like to speak about the emails? No.
Okay.
All right, close public hearing.
Okay, so we're gonna, so a motion by, got a motion by Councilman Chatterling,
Wait,
second by
bef-
Councilman.
Before we proceed, can we consider an alternative, read the sender's name?
We making a motion to
Agenda
close the
item?
public hearing, and we're gonna
It's
have a
motion,
discussion.
it's just called.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
so I have a
you.
motion by Councilman Chatterling,
Thank
second by Councilman Asbill to close public hearing. All right, council discussion?
Yeah. My concern is same as them, is that we advertise that to send an email to have, if you can't make it, to have it read during a meeting. And I think this is, you know, not doing what I think the impression is that it's supposed to be. People get the impression that we're supposed to send an email, have it read during time if they can't make it, especially during a limited space right now. And that's just my opinion.
You know why we received 20 phone calls and 15 emails? Because somebody screamed the sky's falling. So these rumors, people run around saying, the city's making a deal with the Woods. They're making a deal. They're getting money. They're doing this. I can make up a rumor and just start spreading rumors and expect people to call and just lies, and everybody believes them. And that's why you're getting these emails. All these emails are useless because no one's making a deal. Woods material is still under litigation. So all of these emails, we can read all you want. I disagree with it. The sky's falling. Everybody knows the sky's falling. They all coming in with the emails about Woods material, the Batcher project, this and that. There is no secret. The fire millage, you want to talk? They come in and they say, oh, they didn't take the fire millage off. We sat up here and said, we're taking the fire millage off. We can't sit here and say, it's off until we receive paper from the Secretary of State. We received that paper yesterday or today?
2 days ago.
So this is all rumor mill causing all of this commotion. Work together, talk to somebody, call somebody, ask the question. So I'm not in favor of reading the email.
And I would just like to state, a lot of the emails, this individual, I don't know if this is actually a valid email address, this email says exactly what this email says. So I don't know if people were just, hey, let me send you my questions and you read this and then read that. Some of them are verbatim, word for word, what somebody is requesting to somebody else. So, I mean, I just want to, and then some of the emails address multiple issues, which I mean, I guess, how, what do we do?
What's more, some of them are
Read 'em?
from obviously fake email accounts. For example,
Well, I was gonna say, Scott, one email is about
Wait,
6
wait.
pages.
For example, at the risk of being derogatory, we got an email from Harry Balls on ya.
We didn't get that one, but we got the.
We got it.
We got it,
That's what we received.
and we're not reading it.
Okay, well, these are the ones that we got CC back on.
Okay.
We got copies of it that was CC'd to us.
Public address is not open right now. We're having discussion. You could, we're,
I don't know where they came
I'm not listening to him.
And I knew somebody was gonna come out.
Start a
and say
rumor.
something.
I'm not listening.
John,
You're not supposed to talk, you're supposed to talk only about the emails anyway. You're talking about something else.
You're not supposed to talk at all.
John,
Mr. Reeves, the emails that came to us address multiple issues. That's what he was talking about. Some of them talk about woods, and this, again, this smoldering fire of woods, and then here comes the fire millage. So, I think that's what Eric was, I'm sorry?
we don't know what that is, we only have those right now.
No, well, we have them here. So what I'm just trying to say, wait, Mr. Reeves, hold on one second.
John,
And Tommy knew what he told he
No, Mr. Reeves, the reason Eric brought up the fire millage is because in the email, it's kind of a catch-all of everything. So there's not a specific email about fire, there's not a specific one about woods, they're a little bit of everything. There's something even about the fire proposal on your mattresses and your hoses.
we don't know about.
I just think that in the future, if we decide to do this, that we specify in saying that you will not be read during a meeting, that we're just gonna post it, rather than them putting it in, thinking it's gonna be
I think
read.
this is, I think post them is a better option. I think publishing them on the website is a better option.
And I think we should say that in the future then. Yeah, I think so too.
Start reading.
You want me to start reading?
I've got a motion on the floor, it's seconded, I'd like to hear the vote on it.
Would you like to hear?
I want to vote on the motion.
Well, before we do it, we've just got advice of city council that we should read them, but let's vote on the motion.
Okay, dispense with the reading of the emails, all in favor?
Yay.
Nay.
Who's second?
Who's second? I need a second on it.
I'll second.
Eric,
I'll second.
Councilman Chatelain, second. Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
So we got 2 yeas, 3 nays.
I have no problem
I move-
reading them.
I move to read them now before
Okay.
anybody else addresses.
2 yeas, 3 nays.
2 yeas, 3 nays.
Now,
Okay, Madam Clerk, Madam,
Me, Miss Tommy, and
read one,
Carol.
I'll read one.
I'm not reading.
You're talking some that are like 4 and 5 pages long.
Read 'em.
Verbatim. 2 minutes? Somebody will tell me? I'll read 2 minutes.
If they were here, they don't have to.
Okay,
All right.
Madam Clerk.
It's gonna be a
I've got-
while, Miss
Just
Major, if
so-
you wanna sit down.
So,
I've got a point of order to read the comments, read the email comments first before the others. Okay. I apologize. I've got a point of order to read the email comments before address the council from the chambers.
with the understanding that I'll be timed for 2 minutes, so if I do not complete them in 2 minutes, then they'll still be posted.
If you read them, just post what you read. If you read them, don't post. We got 2 minutes. Post what you read.
All right, first one's from Chris and Vicky Holmes. My wife and I own a home in Harahan, a home that she moved into when she was 2 years old. We are strongly opposed to any potential zoning change that would allow wood companies to once again operate their composting facility within the city of Harahan. The court case appears to The court case appears to favor the city and citizens of Harahan, and we ask that no compromise be entered that will allow wood companies to again compromise the health, safety, quality of life, and property values in Harahan. In the event we are unable to attend and/or speak at any upcoming meeting regarding this issue, we ask that our correspondence be recorded and read into the record as opposing any zoning change that would allow wood companies to resume operation in Harahan. Please stand up for the citizens of Harahan as you are elected to do.
Nicole, you want to take turns?
Sure.
Okay. So this is the one that came from two exact people. I'm not gonna read them twice, but I will state the emails that they came from. One is, I guess I can state the email address? Okay, so Noah, 70123 at Yahoo, and then Benton, JS, Sue Benton at bellsouth.net. My questions that hopefully will be read at the council meeting tonight. Number one, will the fire department millage be on the ballot in August? Number two, please clarify whether or not the city intends to allow new uses on the Bachelor and Harahan, and if so, will it be done by ordinance? Number three, how do the mayor and council justify so many purchases of new vehicles by the police department when the fire department is in dire straits and it now seems the city is facing losses due to COVID? Number four, please edit the ordinance removing the $15 fee on the water bill. The election did not happen in July, so it definitely did not pass. Number five, I would like to discuss the fire department millage. First, the council puts the vote on Mother's Day weekend when so many are out of town or distracted with family events. Just like other millage votes all taking place on a holiday or event weekend like Jazz Fest. Then COVID happens and the date gets changed. So then a leak letter put out by the fire chief to the mayor saying he wants the millage removed temporarily due to COVID. Assume residents will think the mayor will take it off the ballot. I'm sorry, and I know it sounds like run-ons, I'm just reading it how it is. Have council members tell constituents steps are being taken to take it off the ballot, but never address it at council meetings, or put up a resolution, take it off the ballot. So it's still on the ballot, but many residents thinks it's being taken off. And then there was only one slight difference on this one from Ms. Benton. This mayor and council may think the citizens are not aware. Is that my 2 minutes? I'm stopping? Okay. Next.
That is just sad that a next councilwoman would try to belliger anyone that works in city government right now to try to move anything to us into a negative aspect. At this time in our lives with so much going on, it is truly, truly sad.
Which
All
one
right,
do you got?
I'm gonna read Ms. Carolyn Clausing.
Okay. Carolyn Close.
As a member of the council, I feel pretty certain that you would not have run for this office if you did not want what was best for Harahan. I feel sure that you want the quality of life in her hand and to be the best that it can possibly be. It has recently come to my attention that the company that operates the dump truck business is behind the levee, and Harahan again wants to establish a compost pile and business behind the levee. I think this is a terrible idea. It's going to create a nasty, smelly, unsanitary mess behind the levee. Behind, it must be, but anyway, I thought this was an issue that had been settled some months ago, with the outcome being that the company would not have a compost pile behind the levee. They're back again with the same idea. If this company is allowed to do this, it would drastically decrease the quality of life for the citizens of Harahan. I further understand that they intend to offer Harahan some money as an inducement to allow them to create this business. I do not know all the legal ramifications that are connected with this endeavor, but I would hope that you would do everything in your power to prevent this company from doing what it wants to do. They have already proved to be uncaring about the citizens of Harahan and the way they run their dump truck businesses. I cannot believe that they would do a better job with a nasty compost pile. Perhaps a better site for this endeavor would be near the garbage dump in Wagaman, Louisiana. I will not be attending the meeting Thursday night because of my concerns about the coronavirus. I am a 77-year-old senior citizen. However, I would hope that you will speak out against this for the people of Harahan who cannot be at the meeting. Thank you.
Nicole, I'll take the next three because these are kind of short.
All right.
Okay, so this one is Melanie White. My questions are as follows. Will there be any agreement to allow other uses for the Bachelor? Will this be done by ordinance? I have been hearing that Mayor Baudier has been reassuring residents that this will not happen, but would like to hear it stated at a meeting. Will the fire department millage be on the ballot in August? If not, when is it going to be on the ballot? Hope to hear clear and concise answers, either in writing or verbally at the next council meeting. Judy Johnson. In regard to the
No,
amendment.
hold on one second. Are you planning to come up and talk today?
Okay.
Okay.
In regards to the amendment to the budget ordinance introduced tonight, this will add $40,000 to the fire department's budget for hoses and nozzles. but I thought Jefferson Parish had donated funding for those and also another 4,000 in mattresses. How many mattresses will be purchased, and will they actually be used on bed frames since the mattresses found at the station were on the floor? Does this mean the fire station is finally getting refurbished, but has the mold situation been addressed along with the leaks that caused it? You just read Chris Holmes, correct? Okay. I'm sorry, Janet Burkle. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Dear Councilman, I'm absolutely opposed to any commercial compost to be permitted on the Bachelor. I'm requesting the city to fight this issue in the court and to request that Harahan receive the fines and penalties that are due to the city. In the past, we have already been through enough pollution that has affected us and the citizens of Harahan. Please hear this plea and represent the citizens of Harahan justly. Here's another short one real quick, Nicole, sorry. Judy Dufresne. We are opposed to the compost and mulching on the Bachelor in Harahan because when the mulching machine is running, you can hear the noise of the engine, plus flies, termite smells, and air quality. This is not a good thing for our city and residents. And the other the remaining ones are the pretty lengthy ones.
I'm gonna go to,
Now, before we move on also, Mr. and Mrs. Reams, you're in the stack also. Do you want it to be read, or y'all gonna get up and talk, or?
She can read it.
Okay.
You only get one bite.
We can still
Right.
address the council.
No,
Get one bite.
No.
Oh.
it's either you,
You got something to say. So
okay,
you
so we'll
wanna-
skip your email then.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's probably the same thing. Will we get 3 minutes on this out?
I'm doing, James Lynch. It's my understanding the mayor and council are considering the allowance of wood companies to resume commercial composting and mulching operations along the Harahan Badger. The city won a long court battle against woods to prevent such operations, and it's hard to believe we can throw those efforts away. I feel that any changes to our ordinances which allows composting and mulching by woods is short-sighted and not in the best interest of the community. Harahan doesn't have the resources to monitor woods operations, and the only protection we have are our ordinances, which have proven effective in several court cases with woods. The composting operations are a nuisance due to the smells generated when they turn over the decaying materials, noise from mulching, and increased health risk from the airborne mold, spores, and toxins. Wood materials have used animal waste in the past for their composting activities. They have a waste pile as big as a large house in the back of their property at one time, which attracted flies and smell throughout the neighborhood. What's to prevent them from doing this again? Once you allow woods operations, then we can't limit the size of their operations. The woods operations are very close to residents along River Road, and any expansion has negative impacts on the home values and quality of life. I ask that you protect the citizens by not changing any ordinance.
Okay. So the next one I have, just want to make sure, because I think I read Robin Witcher? Just want to make sure that's not the same name. No. The operation of mulching should not be allowed. The awful odor and the high number of flies are just two of the obvious results of the mulching pits. As humans, we are just one of the victims of the impact associated with the pollution. Wildlife also suffers. The water quality due to the dredging and the runoff from the manure threatens the natural habitat of our fish, birds, and other wildlife. Our clean air and lush badgers should not be threatened again. The beauty of nature surrounds us on the levee since it has recovered from the sand, dust, and mulching. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the ability to get recreation out of doors is all that much more imperative. The kids, citizens, and all those who pass through our town on the levee can enjoy the fresh air without the worry of sand, dust, and dangerous spores in the air. Thanks go to Johnny and Evelyn, our spokespersons, but now there is a threat of a return to the mulching operation. I'm imploring the city council members and our mayor to be on the side of the people of Harahan. As a 5-time cancer survivor, I literally feel the effects of the clean air in my health. Please do not allow the mulching operation to return to our neighborhood.
I'll be Kathleen Sullivan.
Okay.
It has been brought to my attention that the that the Harahan Badger could be permitted for a commercial compost facility. As a new homeowner of Harahan, I feel this would negatively impact the quality of air and life and lower property values in Harahan. After a year searching for a home in the New Orleans area, I chose Jefferson Parish and specifically Harahan for its positive qualities of life, cleaner air, quiet neighborhoods, access to the levee for walking and biking, and elevated flood zones with low crime rates. According to a study from Cornell University, the commercial compost facility would release bioaerosols, particles of microbial plant or animal origin, and may be called organic dust. The health effects that have been noted include respiratory symptoms, mucosal membrane irritation, skin diseases, and markers showing immune system response. Is that what we want for the residents of Harahan? Please return to court and request to enter a permanent injunction against commercial compostings and request the fines and penalties that are owed to the city of Harahan.
Gina Bourgeois. Mayor, Council, City Clerk, I recently came across a post on Nextdoor stating that there was a possibility Woods Material be granted an ordinance to allow them to begin a composting operation on the river batch in Harahan. As a citizen extremely concerned about the health and well-being of our community, please note that I strongly oppose this ordinance. My family, including my young child, have lived just 2 houses from the river on Raven for the past 10 years, and already have had to deal with sand accumulating all over our property when the winds are out at a particular direction, especially on our patio furniture and my daughter's swing set, and have only recently received relief from the regular putrid odors drifting across the river and into our home from the landfill. The idea that we may have to deal with more odor and possible health issues from a new encroachment on our quality of life at our home in Harahan is extremely frustrating. Please do not allow this to happen in the sanctuary of our community, and please prevent this from being considered again in the future by issuing a permanent injunction on composting or any similar operation on the Badger steps away from our home. Additionally, please note that Nicole Lee may read my letter at tomorrow's council meeting, as I will not be attending due to social distancing for COVID-19. Thank you for your consideration.
John S. White. I am extremely disappointed to hear that the City of Harahan leadership team is considering an ordinance to make commercial composting a permitted use on the Harahan City Badger. This is not only what the citizens of Harahan for numerous years. Hold on,
You all right? You got it?
Through several city administrations have been fighting against. This is just not the right thing to do. I am sure I am getting false information. As an attendee to several of the court reviews in the most recent years, I noticed you were always in attendance to support the city position and to try and persuade Wood Materials to move their composting operation down toward the authorized Jefferson Parish area along the river. A distance, as I recall, is a couple of football fields in distance. Obviously not a hardship on their part. In fact, the wood company stated to the 24th Judicial Court in a court document that they, meaning Wood, have stopped any operations within the city confines and have planned to move such operations to Jefferson Parish. Additionally, if this is some council member's idea as to how to finance our fire department, I would suggest they go back to the drawing board, and as such, we would be better off for the city to return to court and request the court to enter a permanent injunction against composting and to award Harahan fines and penalties that are owed to the city. This has not been done to my knowledge, and I am suspicious as to why not. I oppose any ordinance for commercial composting, and I am confident you will veto any move by the council to enact an ordinance, no matter where it is coming from. By email, I'm requesting Nicole Lee to read my email. By email copy, I'm requesting Nicole Lee to read my email at the June 18th Harahan Council meeting in case of limited seating. I am also copying the aforementioned council members to this email, lest there be no misunderstanding of the citizens' position.
Okay. Okay. So this is Thomas Adler. I will be honest with you, Mr. Adler, I don't know if I will complete this. I will do the best I can in the 2-minute allotted time. Request for public hearing to discuss issues associated with the NU non-urban zone land. Jesus called us to love our neighbor. On June 9th, 2020, the Harahan River Ridge Air Quality Facebook group informed me of a desire to intensify the land use of the non-urban land within the city of Harahan for composting. On one side of the levee are families trying to raise their families in a healthy environment, and on the other are folks trying to make a living providing the materials we use on a daily basis. We are neighbors who need to find a middle ground. This letter is an attempt to provide alternatives for discussion so as to avoid a winner-take-all relationship between neighbors. The potential of nuisance orders. Composting and the processing of recycled wood products are, by their very nature, odorous. Nuisance odors might in fact lower overall city revenues due to lowered property values, which would be unfortunate if any rezone was made with an eye toward a higher revenue stream. An alternative to any rezoning proposal would be a conditional use permit. The conditional use permit could be crafted to require the installation of 4 permanent air quality monitoring stations surrounding the site, in parentheses, to be operated by the city. These air quality monitoring stations would ensure that the air quality standards are met during the 3-year term of the conditional use permit. If any air quality violations are not immediately rectified by the owner, the city would have grounds for not renewing the conditional use permit when the reissuance was considered at a public hearing. As a measure of goodwill, the residents could split the cost of the installation of the air quality monitoring station with the owner. Why River Ridge residents have standing. Oh. It's a lot. Yeah.
How many more we got? Just one
I
more?
have one more, Reams.
Reams.
Oh, they said that they're gonna come up
You're
and
gonna-
talk, so we don't have to read it.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yep. And also, like I said, before we get back to address the council, I just want to, in the future, we either have to say, you have to be here to ask questions, or if you send an email, it's only going to be posted online. We have to be very clear with people before we do it, in my opinion.
I'm
That's
gonna
all.
send some emails next time.
So I just think we have to let them know how we're going to work it and what we're going to do, because a lot of this probably didn't need to be read here, and they probably didn't want it to be read here. I think a lot of this just wanted us to see it, like in the past, people email us all the time,
Sure.
telling us their feelings. I don't think,
Yeah, I hope
probably
we,
half of
I hope we didn't
these.
offend anybody by
Right.
reading them.
Right. Probably half of these probably didn't really want them to be read. They just wanted our eyes to see it.
Yeah, and
But-
and maybe the solution is next time, only read those that are sent after the public notice is made, because many of these were sent, beginning of the month before
Right.
the public notice was even made, and to say that,
Right.
comments would be allowed. So, move to address the council.
A motion by Councilman Asbill, second by,
Second.
second by Councilman Buddy to open up address the council. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
Address the council with 5 yeas, 0 nays. Address the council is now open. Please state your name and address at the podium.
Nadine Casnave, Harahan. I'm back again. This is in reference to the Harahan fire service charge. What happened to the proposed fire department millage that was voted on in June? I know the election has been moved to August. Is the millage still on the ballot since no resolution has been passed by the mayor or the council concerning removing this millage from the ballot? Did you pull it down? And if so, when did you pull it down? And who pulled it down? Could you explain the process?
I'll explain. So we,
Can you please take the mask off so we can hear you
I said,
all?
I was just asking them, would we like everybody to finish speaking, and then we can address everything.
if
What do
you,
you wanna address
Well,
first?
I know you all have a habit of telling people you're gonna answer and you don't come
Ms.
back
Fahey,
and
I
answer.
think Councilman Chatelain already stated the fact that the letter was received, so.
Okay.
I handed her the paper.
Oh, okay.
When I was sitting down, after I made the last comment, he gave me this letter,
Right,
that it was pulled down.
correct.
Then
And
he also made a statement that you all had told us that it was pulled down. You have never discussed anything in reference to this village with us and told us you pulled it down. Anyway, he gave me this message, this letter. Who is Mr. Jason Axis?
Ackers?
Foley and General
Those are our bond attorneys.
Attorney, right? Is he a city attorney?
No, he's our bond attorneys.
He is a bond attorney? Okay. 'cause
Ma'am,
it said-
I'm gonna interrupt. We send this to the Secretary of State. They put it on a ballot. We gotta go through a process to get that removed off the ballot.
That's what
We
I wanna
can't
know.
sit up here and tell you that it's off the ballot until we receive that letter today.
Okay,
So that's why we publicly saying it's off the ballot.
okay. Now, the people didn't notice till you just came and gave me.
We
this.
just found out today it was
found out
definitely
this
off the
week.
ballot.
Okay.
It's
It
on
was
the
gonna be
agenda.
announced later during the
It's gonna be
meeting.
announced later in the meeting.
It was
That's why I
posted on
asked for-
Facebook.
Could you please explain the process? Because people, I didn't know the whole process myself.
I moved to,
And
this
I'm
is,
so,
this is
I
a
would
discussion
imagine
about
nobody
government.
else understood the whole process
don't-
either. When did you all put it through to ask?
Ms. Beijing, if you ask me the exact date the paperwork was submitted to the Secretary of State, I don't know the exact date the paperwork was submitted. It took a little time. We had to make sure that it was all done. When we received the letter, I think it was 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been yesterday. Things are a little,
It's dated June the 1st.
Right,
ma'am,
but that's
just
not
because
when we
the
received it.
letter's dated, you
Who's,
know, they
who,
mailed it to us.
who's
if
it
I'm not
addressed to?
mistaken.
And it's not addressed to the city either.
Right, it's addressed to Foley and Judell, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Correct.
So they received it and then it came to us. So they could have, I mean, I don't, I mean, we're not the postal service either, but as soon as we received it, if I'm not mistaken, it was posted all over Facebook today on various sites, letting
Well-
know that here's the letter.
Gotta be real.
It's on the mayor's agenda to state it at the end.
Well, as you all know, I don't have a
Miss Judy,
computer,
Miss
and
Miss
I don't
Majine,
want
no, no.
one, so I'm not even
Miss-
on
Miss
Facebook.
Majine, and we understand that, and so here's what the process is. If you have a Facebook account, you found out earlier. If you don't have a Facebook account, that's okay. You come to the meetings old school, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. You come to the meetings and you find out at the meetings. And guess what? Found out tonight. That's how the process works.
So it has been pulled down.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what
I
I
think
wanted
it
to
has.
know.
Yes, ma'am, it's been pulled down.
Because you all have never, ever told us anything.
Miss Majine,
Majine, that's
I
not-
found out today at 1:30 it was
We're telling
pulled
you
down,
tonight.
100%.
You came to the meeting
Before
to
that, I
find
couldn't
out,
tell you that.
and you found
If I
out.
told you before and it was on there, you'd call me a liar.
Ms. Majine, we haven't had a public meeting in a month for you to find out. You found out at the first available public meeting, and you're being critical, ma'am.
And
It's not well received.
someone's putting you up here to make these statements. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have 3 minutes.
My name's Greg Munger, lifelong resident of Harahan, 40 months old, will be 65. Recently, I had cancer. I can't walk 3 blocks without taking a break for an hour to go again. Last year, I bought an electric motor for my bike. Been riding it for a year, not a problem. I was told today, if I'm caught on it, I'm getting a ticket, or the bike's getting towed off and I'm going to jail. Why? I hear tell it's illegal to ride an electric bike in Harahan. State of Louisiana says okay, federal government says okay. Harahan don't. Why, chief?
Was that? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not for the chief to answer right now,
No,
but
man,
I'll look into that and see.
In the meantime, I stay home.
I'm not familiar with
Was-
the laws on electric bikes where you can and can't ride them, so I'm not gonna sit here and make
State
you
says
an
you
answer.
can. Next time I meet, I'll bring the paperwork.
Yeah, that'd be
Federal
awesome.
government says I can. Harahan says I can't. Somebody here made that rule.
Yeah, I didn't tell you you can't ride your bike.
So-
I didn't
so do you
enforce
have
that
the,
law. There's an ordinance that's gonna say it.
If I get caught with a motor, I'm probably gonna get a jail. or
Sir, did you get the, I'm sorry, sir, did you get the name of the, did you get the
Yes,
name
I
of the?
did, and I'd rather not say.
Okay. Was it out here in front of City Hall this afternoon?
Close to it.
Okay. Well,
Will
you
you
know,
ride- will
so
you
they've
ride
got
in
a
the
chain of
street or on the
command, they've got a
side?
chain of command over at the police department. I would suggest if you've got an issue with that officer, he's sitting in the back of the room, you can report him to the chief of police.
I have a problem with the law. The officer don't bother me at all. He's reciting Harahan law.
If you have a copy of that, can you, I mean,
That's a law we're gonna have to look into.
I don't want you to ride your electric bike over here to bring it to me.
None of us are familiar with the law. We're not doubting that it may exist. We're not familiar
That's
with it,
why I
so we
asked
can't
the chief.
address it.
He ought to know.
Well, you know, if you bring me, and like I said, I don't want you to get in trouble riding a bike over here, or your electric bike here, but if I can get a copy of the law, do you have a computer?
I can get one for you this afternoon, you like, state of Louisiana and the federal.
I just like to see it. I like to see how it's phrased or worded.
I'll have that on the book.
I mean, because if there is special exception for someone in your condition with medical reason,
Oh, I have no
you know,
idea.
well, let's check it out. Let's see if we can help you.
That'll work for me.
You got it, yes, sir. I mean, if you,
I'm sure y'all seen me riding up and down the highway on that red three-wheel bicycle with a box on the back of it.
I didn't notice it was electric.
yeah, I didn't know that thing was electric.
I saw you this afternoon pulled over in front of City Hall.
I thought you were just like a champion peddler.
I thought it's illegal.
I was like, this guy's the Michael Phelps of pedaling that three-wheel bike.
I can't tell it.
Yeah. All right, well,
We'll
let's see
look
if we-
into it, too.
Yeah,
We
let's
can
see if we
do
can
it.
work on it. You got it. Let's see if we can work on it.
I appreciate it.
You got it.
Right.
Thank you. Yes, sir. We got the Michael Phelps of pedaling over here. We'll put him in a contest.
Okay, John Ream, 3 Ren Pass. Mayor and council and people of Harahan. The Batcher zoning ordinance stood strong in the following. Harahan won the 1988 U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals court case upholding its Batcher zoning ordinance, which freezes private commercial development at its present stage, protecting existing neighborhoods. In 1988, Mayor Carlo Ferrera stopped Wood Materials from erecting a mooring in the Mississippi River that would enable it to discharge dry bulk cargo, significantly expanding its operation. In 2008, Mayor Paul Johnston stopped wood companies from bringing limestone onto the Batcher. In 2010, Mayor Paul Johnston stopped wood companies from bringing the commercial compost facility onto the Batcher. In 2016, Mayor Tina Maselli cited the wood companies for the commercial compost facility operating in violation of the Harahan Batcher ordinance. It's not a permitted use. In 2018, Jefferson Parish Chief Operating Officer Keith Conley addressed the Port of New Orleans with the Batcher ordinance and stopped a different company from offloading of barges in the Mississippi River in Harahan. In 2019, the city of Harahan won the compost case in the Louisiana Supreme Court. In 2019, Mayor Tim Bodier stopped the DOTD from establishing an emergency debris dump site on the Batcher using the same ordinance. If the mayor and council allow the commercial compost facility to be a permitted use, it will industrialize the Batcher and could open the door for more industrial activity. Harahan needs to reduce pollution in the city, not add more pollution. Health risk associated with commercial compost facilities: odors, organic dust, fungal mold spores, toxins, bacteria, viruses, allergens, wood dust, plant fibers, and Formosan termites. Organic dust can travel over 1/3 of a mile. Odors can travel almost a half a mile. Fungal spores can travel in the distances of miles. Mayor Tim, please go back to court for fines and penalties. Close the case and protect your citizens' health, welfare, quality of life, home property values, and people exercising on the levee. And we thank you guys for standing up for the city of Harahan residents, okay? Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot my glasses. Excuse me. Oh, that's not my message. Mayor Tim Bodier, when you were councilman, you sent 2 emails to Commissioner Mike Strain, LDAF, in 2017. We believe both emails were written from your heart. January 21st, 2017, Dear Commissioner Mike Strain, I'm attaching a letter that I recently sent to your office. We are in desperate need of some help here in Harahan. I'm working with some great citizens to get a terrible problem resolved. Please read the attached letter, and please, at your convenience, reach out to me. We need your leadership, guidance, and your help. Thank you so much, Harahan Council, Tim Bodier. August the 23rd, 2017. Commissioner Mike Strain, I'm very disappointed that my request to LDAF to immediately revoke Wood Materials BMP has not been enforced yet. It is our desire for any company operating in Harahan to respect and obey the laws of Harahan. We expect LDAF to enforce the BMP requirement against Wood Materials, because Wood Materials is operating against Harahan NU Bachelor Zone Ordinance 1333. We look forward to you sending the City of Harahan and myself a copy of the revoke order to Wood Materials soon. Thank you, Harahan Councilman Tim Bodier. Mayor Tim, Mike Strain was not willing to revoke the BMP until the city won the compost case. The city won in the Supreme Court, so as mayor, you will be able to contact Mike Strain to revoke the BMP permit as you requested on April 23rd, 2017. Councilman Tommy Buddy, you sent an email to the residents' emails. There has been an informal settlement offer submitted to Wood by Wood to one councilman that, if accepted, would allow for mulching. Please know I will not vote for anything unless it is in the best interest of Harahan. Councilman Tommy, this is not in the best interest of the residents. It will industrialize the Bachelor, and it will forever affect the residents' health, quality of life, property value, and people exercising on the levee. The Wood Company stated on August 19, 2019, in a court document to the 24th Judicial Court, the Wood Companies have stopped any operations within the city confines and have planned to move such operations to Jefferson Parish. The compost stopped 10 months ago, but it's still sitting on the Bachelor and Harahan. Mayor Tim, the city won the compost case in the Supreme Court, and now you can help by going back to court to let the judge make her judgment on the fines and penalties and close the case. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, you had your email read and that addressed to council, and you were given a choice for your email to read, and you selected that.
I make a motion to give her 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Judy Johnson, y'all know where I live. Maybe what the new members on the council don't know is the point of sale for the sand and the compost was where it was delivered, which means the city got absolutely not one penny of sales tax. The only thing we got from Woods was their business license, and I believe it was $6,000.
It's actually the point of sale. So
Point
if
of sale.
something is sold in Harahan,
No.
no,
The
that's the
state
law.
told us a long time ago the point of
law
sale
is
was
point
where
of
it was
sale.
delivered.
That's not.
Mr. Buddy, we just let her finish.
That's what we were told by the administration way back when. We did not get any payments from them for sales tax at all. They owe us a lot. They have destroyed our city. This permit that they got for the composting was started after Katrina, when they put all the wood back there, and it grew from that. It was not allowed, but the mayor said yes. We need to tell them it's not allowed. Our zoning ordinance does not allow it at all, which I think is why they finally bought the sand pits that they've been operating. They can do that. That's allowed. Composting is not. Don't change the ordinance, please. This will ruin the city forever. You will destroy the property values of everybody who lives in this city. And you will see people leaving this town like crazy. Please, protect our city.
Hey, good evening. I'm Keith Moody. I reside at 411 Bailey in Harahan. I'm also the Assistant Chief of Police, the Operations Commander of the Harahan Police Department. Say again? I'm that guy. I like fish. Actually, I like fish a lot. I like his family. This has nothing to do with fish. He's a hell of a carpenter, by the way. The law is very clear. There's no motorized vehicles allowed in the state of Louisiana, including us. Okay.
Let him talk.
So,
Not your turn, buddy.
I'm gonna give you a little reference, and you can hire an attorney. The bottom line is, well, we try to make exceptions. if you're gonna drive a bicycle, you have to follow bicycle laws. You have to ride with the traffic, you have to have a light and a reflector. You can't ride on bicycles. You can't have it both, or you can't ride on sidewalks. You can't have it both ways. Mr. Fish, I love him a lot. So it used to be, probably for the last year, the ongoing joke was I'd get behind him and say, pedal fish, you know, so it looks like it's a bicycle. The problem is, like a lot of people, when they're off of work, they have a tendency to drink alcohol and things like that. So I've warned Fish several times, you can't drive a bicycle, a golf cart, motorized vehicle of any kind while you're drinking. And that was kind of the ongoing stuff. We've had several complaints, probably 30 in the last year, about his particular trike, which is a cool trike. So to address the matters, we made sure it was clear that no more breaks for anybody on golf carts. There's some people, believe it or not, that drive golf carts on the streets. They're going to be cited. So we gave everybody a little break, a little warning period, a little, and believe it or not, there's some people that actually drive golf carts with beer kegs and beer bottles and drinking because they think they're not operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of, I'm going to need a little more time probably, drugs or alcohol. You can be cited for drunk driving on a golf cart, a horse, a bicycle, a riding lawnmower. So I'm just trying to save a little aggravation for you. So his brother called me today, and I said, look, I understand that he's disabled and can't get around like he used to. So I said, get him a little scooter. See, scooters have a special provision under RS 32300.2, electric personal assistant mobility. I'm not going to recite the whole law, but it addresses kind of like his need. So his need is to be mobile, to be able to get back and forth to get his checks and his beer and things like that, or do his work, right. So there is a provision. However, that provision, and I'll just quote a little bit of this, for purposes of this section, this is the exemption to the motorized vehicle, shall mean a self-balancing non-tandem wheel device. Guess what? You have a tandem wheel device. It does it. Now, if you go get you one of those little scooters, the mobility place, you can do that. It's not the same. I try to give you a fair warning. I love you like a brother, but you cannot operate those streets, nor can anybody operate golf carts on the city streets of Harahan, Louisiana. Have we been easy on you and give you warnings? Absolutely. However, COVID's done.
Time's
You
up,
have
Mr. Moody.
you have the ability to be cited. I'd like a little more time, please.
Motion, one more minute.
Nay.
So anyway, I guess I'm giving you notice to everybody. COVID's over as far as enforcement. You're going to be cited for violations of the law. That's what we're here for. We're here to keep the city safe. Concerning, because it usually takes 2 or 3 times to tell people to listen, to get a point across. The new vehicles, the new equipment, the safety measures we've done for our police department has not been paid for by our operating budget or our capital budget. Those funds that you see, the new cars, the new equipment, the new vests, the new uniforms, the things that make it safe for our officers were paid for either by money that we got from Paul Johnson from Jefferson Parish or through a DOG asset forfeiture fund that was funded by getting dope, illegal things off the street. It goes into a federal fund, and because we have people that help get that stuff off the streets, we get a portion of that money. So all these new cars that you see, the new equipment, were paid for by non-Harahan citizen taxpayer dollars. So if you have any questions, my name is Keith Moody. My phone number is 220-0581. If you have anything you want to ask about the Harahan Police Department, please call me. I'm very proud of what we've done. Got a new sign out there donated by Sign Works. Cost us nothing, okay? Nothing. Didn't cost you anything. It looks beautiful. Any questions about anything about the police department? The chief answers his phone. I answer my phone. And we're here to work with you and for you to keep the city safe, not to mess with you, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, do I have a motion to close?
Anyone else?
Do you have a motion to close address to council? Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman
Second.
Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Okay, public hearing's now closed.
Rather address them now, in
Yes.
case anybody wants to leave during executive session.
All right.
About what?
Well, okay, well, we're gonna do
Anything you
executive
want to
session
discuss?
last
Well,
anyway.
reports are next. Reports are next anyway. Yeah,
Secretary's report first.
we do the reports before we go into executive.
All right, Secretary's report for May, $293,029.59. Reports.
Oh, your Chief Walker's first. I'm sorry, Chief. Chief Walker, report?
I need
Didn't mean to.
20 minutes. That's right.
Statistics for Harahan Police Department for May 2020. Number of calls for service were 1,224. 10 auto accidents reported. 267 citations were issued for 418 different charges that were filed patrol requests. Narcotics arrests were 37. The charges were 42. There were 13 felony narcotic charges, 8 misdemeanors, and 21 city. Other arrests were 44 for 110 different charges, 11 felonies, 68 misdemeanors, 9 city, and 22 traffic. Persons and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, 1 non-residential burglary, no attempted burglary, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 3 larceny thefts, and 6 assaults. Again, have a very safe and happy 4th of July. Good night and God bless.
Chief Sancia, thank you.
Good evening, citizens of Harahan Council. I'd like to announce that the city of Harahan has a link on its website that if you have a special needs person at your home and would like us to check on you after a storm or just know about you, whether you have someone that needs special assistance, if they have oxygen, if they're bedridden, and you just on a normal basis want us to know about it so that we can take that in consideration when planning on responding to your home for an incident. You can fill it out on the webpage. It will come to us. We can put it in our system, and when we're dispatched, we'll know about it. So please fill it out. Now, this is not for evacuations or anything like that. You would have to follow the emergency management through the parish for that, so pay attention to their instructions. However, if for locally, for our response, you can fill that link out on the city website, and we'll be happy to try to accommodate you in the best way that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Councilman Azarel?
So I'd like to address first a few things that we did during address to council. One of them was an email from former council member Sue Benton, and I just think it's, I think it's wild that she can, spew the misinformation that she has, specifically regarding the fire millage, complaining about the date that the original election was on. Well, I don't know how many times we got to say it, and I don't know how long you have to be an elected official to figure out that you don't actually set the dates as a council person. The Secretary of State does that. So I just think it's ridiculous that she's just leaving that misinformation out there. And as far as the removal, I think we've addressed the removal enough tonight. I'm not even going to continue with that. Wood materials. So I'm going to make a kind of a blanket statement here in that I will not comment on pending litigation of the city except to say that first I want to address Mr. and Mrs. Ream. I went to your home on February 5th. We spent about an hour in your home discussing your issues and my issues. I listened to you, looked at all your stuff. After about an hour, I did tell you that I would consider every single option that was brought before me. And that I wouldn't be a good representative if I did not consider every single option. After which you insulted me by declaring that I did not care about the health of the Harahan residents. I ended the meeting at that point. Since then, I've told you and will continue to tell you and everyone the same thing. I will always consider every option that brings this expensive litigation and exhausting litigation to an end. But I speak unequivocally when I say I will never support any resolution to this matter that I think poses a health, safety, and welfare issue for the residents of Harahan, nor reduces our quality of life. Point in. A couple other small points on the Wood case regarding, just some logical things. Somebody's email said, move it to Jefferson Parish. Okay, they're gonna move it 500 feet to Jefferson Parish. We heard Mr. Ream get up and say, spores travel over 1/3 of a mile. Odors travel over 1/2 a mile. Fungus can travel for miles. So I don't understand how moving it 500 feet is gonna help us, other than relying on the parish to regulate it. And we know what a great job they've done with the landfill. That's all. I've got one other, I'm gonna end with a couple of positive notes. First of all, I hope everyone has a happy 4th of July. And be safe out there. We got an email from Miss Dawn Benoit. She is one of the coaches at Harahan Playground. She's asked me to read this. She wants to throw a couple compliments out. Miss Dawn Benoit has been a volunteer softball coach at Harahan Playground for over 30 years. Usually she coaches the Harahan 10U All-Star team and transitioned to coaching the parish-wide JPRD 12U team. This year she is coaching the 12U Lady Hawks only due to the shortened season. She is here to say thank you for our investment that the mayor and council, along with the Athletic Association, has made for the children of our great city. Our newly renovated Wilcox Field is absolutely first class. Upgrades to the Dixie Youth Field, the gym, and the Fletcher Field have our playground looking the best it has in over a decade. No one can argue that in the last 7 to 8 years, our Lady Hawks softball program has been dominant under the guidance of girls supervisor Ms. Dina Gunkel. 1992, Harahan's first East Bank Championship. 2013, 8U Babe Ruth State Championships. 2012, 2015, 2017, 10U East Bank Champs. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 12U East Bank Champs. 2014, 2015, East Bank Champs 14U. 2019, 17U Babe Ruth East Bank Champions and Babe Ruth East Bank Champs. Also, 12U JPRD World Series champions in 2015, comprised of a majority Lady Hawks. There are too many Harahan girls to mention that have gone on to use their skills that they acquired at Harahan to play significant high school softball. Some have gone on to college softball. A few that have come to mind are Stephanie Hill at LSU, Tiffany Kospelich at Faulkner State, Michelle Lynn at Southeastern, Haley Findell at Coast Guard Academy, Jordan Perkins at LSU, and Ashley Ortiz at Spring Hill. It also brings me to joy to see a few ladies who have finished their softball careers return to Harahan and give their time to coach the next generation of Lady Hawks. Ann Villarubia, Ashley Juhas, Laura Raymond, Rosie Wood, Whitney Wood, and Alyssa Hellwig come to mind. Your investment in our young girls has allowed them to chase their dreams, hone their skills, and aspire to accomplish what the older girls before them have accomplished. Again, I thank you all very much, Ms. Dawn Benoit. If you haven't been out to the playground to see the upgrades and to see the improvements that are made, please get out there because it looks the best it's ever been. Like she said, the best it's been in years. And we thank the playground staff for doing that. Thanks, that's all I have.
Councilman Buddy?
I'd just like to wish everybody a good 4th of July. Be safe, keep social distancing. This isn't over yet. Thank you.
Councilman Chatelain?
As we stated earlier, I made the comment that people just come up with rumors and everyone runs with them and just thinks the sky's falling. It's not the right thing to do to just say there's an ordinance that's going to allow them to do all of this stuff on a bachelor when it's not true. If anyone, just like Councilman Asbill said, if anyone comes to me with anything in the city, I'm going to listen to them and decide where we're going to go with it. But you have to listen, So I'll tell you right now, I'm very upset with some of the people who are spreading these rumors. They know that's not how it works. They know there's a process that goes on. They know we're in litigation. So why spread the rumor? Sit back, relax, trust the people that you elected up here. And if you have a question, call us and talk to us. I mean, been there, done that. I don't need to hear your comments. But the same note, you'll call us if you need something. Call us and ask that question, And emails, I don't even know if these emails are true. Half these emails, you get fake emails from people all day long. I could sit here and form 6 email accounts and send emails to y'all all day long. If you want to talk to me, come see me, talk to me, call me on the phone. That's the way things get done. You know, it's not negative, negative, negative. Let's give something positive. I mean, the city looks great. The weather's been beautiful. You know, it's a shame everybody's locked up inside. You know, go outside, do something at the park. Everything's good. You know, let's move forward in a positive way. Stop the negativity. This city's got enough of that going around. New Orleans, Jefferson, everywhere. I'm honored to live in Harahan. I'm proud to represent Harahan. I'm proud of all of our employees. I thank every one of y'all. Thank y'all.
Councilman Johnson?
Just wanted to say, once we figure it out, what the city's going to do next as far as the emails and stuff go, pay attention that it's a council member, a mayor, or somebody with the city on Facebook. If they say something, then that's where we're going to work it forward. I'm sure it'll post it on the
Website, yes, sir.
website also,
Yes, sir.
once we figure out how we're going to do it with the emails, because just like Eric said, half of these, we don't know if half of them are right, especially with the one that was brought up earlier. Correct. I don't even want to repeat the name, but, and that's it. Have a happy and safe 4th. Yep.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Councilman Wheeler?
So, Ms. Judy, your comment of been there, done that, okay? And I agree with Councilman Chatelain. It's exhausting month in and month out, seeing just the false stuff that's posted on Facebook. I mean, I wish people would just give us just a slight chance that we're doing the right thing. And I know that's very impossible for certain people in this city to do. I would think that a majority of people probably just give us the benefit of the doubt instead of taking something and spewing it. And I think, and it's almost done by design, because I don't know if people get together like 3 days before a council meeting, because social media is just inflamed 72 hours prior to. Oh, let me tell you this. Oh, look, they bought $200,000 and they spent $700,000. Here we go, we're bankrupting the city. This is the 3rd month, Ms. Johnson. You and I have had this discussion about that.
Those are your figures, not mine.
So you're automatically assuming the last 3 months. And Ms. Johnson, I know you've been in Harahan, and you've been involved in this administration much longer than I ever have, ever will be. Has that not ever occurred before? Because I would think that you have expenses. It's like if you water your garden because it's really hot outside, you're probably going to have a super water bill next month. Doesn't mean you're bankrupting yourself. You just have an additional expense. So is this ever occurred before? In the middle of a nationwide pandemic, by the way. Are you going to answer?
Why, y'all don't answer?
No, I mean.
Yes, it's happened
it's
plenty of
happened.
times.
So I just find I find it extremely ironic that it's happened in many administrations, probably even prior to mine, probably to many of people that are sitting here as administration, and it was never a concern before, but now it's just alluding.
Always a concern.
Really?
Yes.
Because in my last 4 years, or my prior 4 years, never once that I recall anyone getting up and questioning. I can only speak for my term, I'm not speaking for anybody else's, questioning the administration spent X amount of dollars, or brought in X, but spent Y. But yet, under the national pandemic that everybody, unless you're living on a rock lately, knows that revenue is down, businesses are probably not coming back, people are being laid off, it's affecting everyone, and we're gonna sit up here and just automatically assume that we're just bankrupting.
No, I'm not assuming anything, I'm going by your figures.
So
Your CPA said last month you were $150,000.
that's what he
over budget.
projected, Ms. Johnson. He said that's what he projected.
You did not say projected. He plainly stated you were $150,000 over budget.
I think what was said was it was projected that we would have a loss of revenue.
Correct.
Which everybody in their right mind in this city would probably agree, from video poker.
I'd like to
You like to,
respond to that.
could you take your mask off, just so they can hear?
This is Todd. I'd just like to mention that if I recall, what I did say is that we were projecting a decrease in sales tax revenue, similar to what we said tonight, and we were estimating that the decrease in sales tax revenue might be around $150,000. That's what was said, to the best of my recollection. That we don't have the information yet to determine where we'll be at December 31st.
Sure.
So I'm not sure that I made any comment about what a deficit would be for the 2020 calendar year for the city.
No, and how could you?
We just
Right.
don't know yet. So
It's
we're
all
working through
projections,
that
sure.
process right now.
Well, here's my thought. You know what? Let's get out and support our Harahan businesses. They need us. We probably need them right now more than ever. And let's just get out and support people. I wanted to remind everybody, Tab's drawing, you know, it's very exciting. I won $50 last time. I might try it for 2 years in a row. And then that craft fair on July 11th, I don't know if you know, this past weekend, they had a smaller version of it out. I did stop by, bless their heart, not many people attended. I think people are still fearful of what's going on out, so if we can please get out there and support those vendors too. A lot of them, that's how they make their money. So again, the VFW raffle on next Saturday, the 27th, and then Saturday, July 11th, the craft fair. Ms. Reeves, yes ma'am, you have your, sure. We cannot hear you. Can you take it off?
I'm just a little bit disappointed because I like that you said something to Judy and she got to respond to your closure more. But Jason Esco, we didn't say nothing about him tonight, but he didn't give us a chance to comment on what he just said about. And I would just like to say that, you know, we did ask him, and we asked, you know, could y'all share with residents what y'all are considering or just thinking about?
Well, we met with every one of y'all and told you the dangers of compost.
And Mr. and Mrs. Reeves, everybody that's sitting up here,
Okay.
here's your
Let it
concerns.
go.
I think the frustration that we all have is, again, just like the speculation of the bankruptcy, or bankrupting the city and we're not fiscally responsible. It goes out, I don't even know what next door is, that must be another social media thing, I don't know what that is. Wait, miss, just give me 1 second.
I'm sorry.
All of a sudden, we're proposing an ordinance. So immediately, you know, the sky's falling and everybody just took it and ran with it and, oh my God, I can't believe they're turning their backs on us and all of this. And there's no such, and I think we would just, I'm gonna tell you, I was a little frustrated. Because I don't understand why people are just going out and just spewing this stuff to the public. And then I guess what upsets me more is the public's believing it.
But we have a responsibility as
Well,
representatives.
but Ms. Reeves, so do we.
You have a responsibility to prove facts. Their facts is there was no ordinance.
I didn't, but we didn't say it was, and y'all
Would you
was
like Ms.
thinking
Reeves to come to
about
the
it.
podium?
And that's
Sure,
what we were
Miss-
just
look,
saying.
Come to the podium, Ms. Ream. Come to the podium.
Thank you, Tim, I appreciate it. I don't wanna be ugly at all, please forgive me, and this kind of just hurts us because, you know,
Speak in the mic so they can hear you,
we
please.
represent the residents, and if we can't do a good job in it, then we shouldn't be representing residents.
We were
I-
elected to
represent the
represent the
citizens, too.
residents.
I know, Eric, I'm sorry. We didn't try to hurt y'all, okay?
I agree.
Ms.
It's the people, just take this and run with it.
But that wasn't our intentions, okay? Our intentions was, Jason was had talked to Sarah, and something
And
was
Ms.
put on
Ream,
the floor.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna
That's okay.
stop you because
Okay, I'm
when
sorry.
I told you here, that was at the January council meeting,
Okay,
I
sir.
informed you of that. And I
Yes,
asked you,
and thank
please,
you.
and I did ask you, please don't put this out there.
I didn't
Because
hear
we
you
don't
say
even know it.
that. I'm sorry, I'm
and
sorry.
we don't even know it's a possibility. And
Okay.
you said, okay, yeah, of course not. Yes, we won't do that. And I informed you because I understand you have been the lead of this. But
Well,
for
we can
you to
represent the
insult me
residents.
like you did at your home,
I told you, I'm sorry, I said that
and
over the
then
meeting,
to
okay?
go ahead and put it all over Facebook, and it
That
was
10
very
months
and
ago.
it was
That was 5 months ago that we talked to you, sir, 5 months ago.
and it was
we were
very
waiting.
misleading. You said that there was an ordinance, and I'm looking at it. You said that there was an ordinance being proposed
Well,
to change the bachelor law,
I propose working on it.
Working
Working
on it, I think
on
it said, yeah.
and there is no ordinance being worked
Okay,
on.
well, thank you for,
Permitted use? Is compost a permitted use of that?
I'm not gonna comment on that because we have litigation on
It's in
that.
litigation.
Is it permitted use of that?
It's in
It is in-
litigation
it is in
right now.
litigation.
The
We're not-
judges are gonna decide.
We're not gonna
already
comment on the
been
legal
done.
aspects of the case.
Decided.
okay, listen, it's not our desire to fight with y'all. We've been addressing the council 5 years. It was never our desire to hurt
the
you.
You're right.
reality
You've been a
is-
community activist for the past 5 years, and you know what happens when you put something on Facebook. And I don't appreciate that.
I don't have Facebook. I get snapshots all day long to my phone from friends. Look at this, look at this, look at this.
Well, we weren't trying to start a problem, we were just letting residents make a comment, just make a comment on how they felt. That's all we were doing.
Well, here's the reality. The matter's in litigation. The city has not won anything. The Woods have not lost anything. It's a tennis match. It goes, one side hits, the other side returns. Right now, the city won an appeal on a major point with the Supreme Court. This case is far from over. It may go on for 2 more years. This is litigation. Nobody's won anything. It can go either way. We haven't won. And I know you said, ma'am, that the city's won. We
I'll make
haven't
a
won.
motion to go to executive session. I think we're discussing litigation too much. We're discussing too much litigation. I would say it's too far in.
Yeah.
Right. We can't talk too much about it. It's litigation.
Thank you for giving us the time to talk.
I mean, what I said, I believe, is all public record.
Right, right.
I believe it's public record. And I want to make a point to something you said earlier. We don't make decisions in executive session. It's against the law. If we make a decision, it has to be in public. So when we go in there, we can get briefed on matters. We can discuss maybe a strategy. We can't make decisions. So I just want to go on the record as saying, we don't go into an executive session and make decisions. We have to do that in public. Public meetings law.
Well, we just thought that, you know, it's been warned in the Supreme Court, and she called them to discuss the penalties and fines, and they didn't want to, so to us, it was settled, and
Okay,
not
Ms.
just
Green.
fines and
All right, let's go.
penalties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Okay, just so we are all on the same page, I want to make sure that I'm very clear when I say this. The millage is pulled off the ballot. We have a letter from the Secretary of State saying so. So I want to be very clear, there will be no millage on the ballot. One more time, just so you don't hear me the first 2 times. There will be no millage on the ballot. I've been sitting up here now, this is my 11th and a half year sitting up here. And I gotta be honest with you, in all my 11 years, this is where we conducted city business in a public forum right here. This is how it's done. It's done before me this way. It's gonna be done after me this way. And I want to be very, very, very clear. I will never debate city business on Facebook or any social media platform. Let me say it again. I will never debate city business on any social media or Facebook platform. Never. The very strong word, it's a very definite word, never. So if you try to engage me on Facebook, I will not respond, especially the nasty ones that put up all that nasty comments and try to attack me and my family, which is absolutely degrading. Shame on you. Ms. Reams, I came here tonight, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't want to address you because I'm so brokenhearted with you that you can't even imagine. I have every step of the way have been so transparent with you on this case. I've been so honest with you. I've involved you in things and commentary that maybe I probably shouldn't have, just because I knew you was such a vocal person for this case. You came to me a few months ago, and you basically told me if I don't see things your way and put the court back in case, that you were going to have to go start communicating with the other side. That was threat number 1. You came at me, and I actually have a voicemail from you basically telling me during the COVID meetings that you wanted to make sure that you were...
That's not true what you're
Well,
saying.
I have a voicemail on the second one, basically saying, I'm sorry, so I have a second, I'm not debating with you. I have a second voicemail basically saying that... I have a second voicemail from you saying that you want to be a part of the meeting that we were having on, what is it called? Zoom meeting, because you want to make sure we didn't slip an ordinance in behind y'all's back. Oh, well, I have that on voicemail, and I can back that one up. So then you go on Facebook, and you try to address me on Facebook. You purposely shot emails at me telling me about a proposed ordinance when no ordinance was ever proposed. No pen to paper was ever written. But here's my stance on the whole situation. I don't honestly understand how moving the problem 600 feet away solves it. I don't get that. Number 2, let me get something else straight, Ms. Judy Johnson. Woods is one of our top 10 taxpayers, just so you didn't know. From the parish, we get... From the parish, I'm not addressing you. Thank you. I am addressing Ms. Johnson. She said that they didn't contribute anything of tax sales here because the point of sale wasn't here. Incorrect. The parish gives us a list of our top 10 sales tax providers. Woods is one of those. Woods is on that top 10 list. So I
I want to make a point. I don't believe we get any sales tax revenue from barge activity. Zero.
Yes, you do.
I don't know.
Ask Paul Johnson. Yes.
All right, let's move on.
So again, I'd like to come back to the point, I want to end this on something positive.
You said you could look at Justin.
If we're gonna use social media, let's use it to help people. I mean, look what the world's going through right now. Look what we're dealing with right now. I mean, I will be 51 in June, and I can't tell you, I have never, I'm scared for my children. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And Ms. Reams and Mr. Johnny, what you did on Facebook and what you did with the other people, I'm gonna be honest with you. You have led evil into your hearts and homes, and I am upset with you.
That's not true. You told us that you wanted to keep it in Harahan.
I move that we go into executive session.
So I'm gonna make a motion to move an executive session. Thank you. Executive session is now started. 8:56, we're gonna call the meeting back to order. No action was taken. Executive session was discussion purpose only. Madam Clerk, pay the bills.
Bills paid in May, $770,104.82.
We got a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned.